CriscoKidd Block Party.
With over 50 years as an MD, an ND, and a nutritionist, today's guest brings real practical insights on preventive healthcare and medicine, especially around natural ways to stay energized, focused, and resilient without relying on prescriptions. So important, so important. She is the owner of RNA ReSet, helping people achieve greater health, and author of the bestseller book, Magnesium, The Link to Total Health. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Carolyn Dean.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
When we met a couple of months ago, I can't believe it's already been months already, for the Vital Choice Project. Our conversation after the panel, and by the way, the Vital Choice Project is just, I feel I support what they're doing. I love the vision of putting the education, nutritional education back in medical school so that these kids can get scholarships and they can go on to be the best doctors that we can put out.
Yes, and the thing about the Vital Choice Project, it started by a 22-year-old. He set up a charity to educate pre-med students, Crisco. Yes. Pre-med is where you need to get these kids so that they go into medicine realizing, oh yeah, people can be healthy. When I got, I don't know, interviewed would be the word, by third-year medical students when I went to med school, they thought I was a Pollyanna. They signed me off. They said, she thinks she can help people. And when I talked to the dean of students, we realized that these kids were already cynical and bitter and all the rest of it. I knew I could, with diet and lifestyle and even just positive thinking, you can help a person. You don't have to just relegate yourself to drugs. So if we can educate pre-med students, and it turns out that one of the chapters, we have 2 colleges now with the Vital Choice Project chapters. One is 30 minutes away from my warehouse in North Carolina. So I'm going to be going over there and, doing a little interaction so that I can support these kids, because all they need is a little, just a little help to know that there's more than drugs in medicine.
Right. I had the opportunity to talk with a traditional Chinese medicинist and martial artist, and Anthony DeSalva is his name, talking about how he's seen, I guess in the Eastern medicine, that they are incorporating modern and traditional, and in countries that are seeing the implementation of more holistic, more just looking at other ways to treat the body instead of just take this pill, take this pill, take this pill. They're seeing the better results and really seeing a stronger or more healthy or potentially vitalized population. So I think maybe we should start taking notes right there and implement that here.
Yeah, it would be nice. It's been difficult, though. I've been at this. I went to med school in the mid-70s, and I seriously thought by now all doctors would be naturopaths, which I am, and medical doctors, which I am, because you have to have both. But the dark side took over. We saw that in the COVID years where they just focused on the drugs, where we would be telling people, well, do all the natural things, take your minerals and your vitamin C and your vitamin D. And it's those people that really boosted their immune system and felt better and didn't catch COVID or caught a mild form. We can attack these viruses. They're predators, and predators will attack a weak organism. Do not let yourself go weak.
I want to touch again that August is Health or Wellness Awareness Month. And so me doing my due diligence and looking up some research on, what are some steps that we could all be doing to improve our overall health. And I came across 5, and maybe you're like, that's right on, or hey, you could do this, but this can take it a little bit further, and it's easy to do. But they say coming in at number 5 is learning to meditate. Have you found meditation is something that, whether people meditate differently, but incorporating any type of meditation in your life, have you found that there truly is benefits to that?
I have no patience to sit and try to make my mind stop. I do walking meditation, which means I just walk. And I'm blessed to be living in Maui. So I walk down to the beach, walk along the beach walk in Wailea, and I'm smiling at people, which means I'm getting a smile back. So I'm gathering smiles, which gives me a hit of dopamine. I'm sometimes getting good hugs from people, which is awesome. And these are the things we lost again during the COVID years. But you know what happens when you smile externally and internally? You actually trigger neurotransmitters and hormones and chemicals to be ejected or released from cells. Your emotions will open up cells to allow like endorphins, serotonin, dopamine, and GABA to come out. And this is scientifically proven by a doctor called Candace Pert. She wrote a book called Molecules of Emotion. And she said we can build our own bliss. And when I say it's scientific, it sort of takes it out of the realm of sort of airy fairy, just say nice things. You can change your whole emotional environment. And the converse is true. If you're thinking negative and evil thoughts, that's what you will produce. So it really is up to us.
Yeah, let's try. Let's try it right quick. You ready, Doc? Here we go. You smile back. I feel it already. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good with that one, right?
I can see it. I can see it.
I love that. I love that. Well, that leads us to number 4, which was joining a yoga, walking, or aerobic class. And I think by you walking, and I'm like you, I will try to be still. I'll try to be present and meditate every once in a while. I'll play the little pitchfork ding, and I can't do that, but I would much rather walk and enjoy something and have my thoughts going. So 5 and 4, we'll kind of combine those. Let's move to number 3, monitoring your sleep and making adjustments for better sleep habits. Now, I don't know if that means like if you're a side sleeper, or maybe the way your pillow. I've even seen some stuff on social media lately that's saying like beds overall are not good for you because your body, your muscular system or skeleton is being elevated, and you should really be sleeping on the floor. I mean, I don't know what to believe anymore. So
clickbait. Seriously, really. I mean, okay, what I think is good is a type of pillow that fills in the space underneath your neck.
okay.
If it's propped up or hanging down, it will put a strain on your neck. So I do believe in those type of pillows, and sleeping in the cold. So put up the AC and turn off your phone. Silent, not just silence it, but turn it off so that, well, you don't get woken up by messages, but also just the Wi-Fi near your brain. And the thing about the brain, actually, I just had an interview with a guy who's really concerned about EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies. And what happens is the electromagnetic frequencies, they're everywhere. I mean, they're going through my head right now, your head, everywhere. What happens is they open up our cells and allow too much calcium into the cells, which excites the cells and makes us irritable and even twitchy. And what keeps those cells closed is magnesium. So that's one of the 1,000 different things that magnesium does. It protects you against all the Wi-Fi interference that some people don't even have a clue that their foggy head and dizziness may be related to Wi-Fi.
Wow. Is that the same for the blue light too? Because I know some of your phones will have like the blue light setting or natural light where you can turn off blue light. Because I have read that blue light, not only is it just bad for your eyes after a certain exposure, right? Even our computer screens that we're talking in, right now, but just excessive use of that, and the blue light, something addictive. I read that there was a study that came out that showed the blue light was purposely chosen to keep you addicted to looking at that screen. Which, does that affect sleep too, or is that just made up? Another conspiracy?
Well, another conspiracy. Well, they do say that you should turn off your phone half hour before you try to sleep, but I can't help it. I'm looking at my X feed and reading my Kindle right up until my phone falls on my chest. So I just use a lot of minerals, a lot of water with sea salt, a lot of basic vitamins and minerals, real basic building blocks to keep my body healthy. And my whole thing with magnesium is I used to be so deficient, I'd be, tight with headaches, not sleeping, still having to work, my doctor hours. But what I found is as soon as I got the right type of magnesium, everything settled down. And I'm 76 right now, and I feel better than I did in my 30s.
That's what you're looking like you do at 76, girl. I had to drop that one in there right there. I got to do it. And it's all magnesium, incorporating magnesium in the body.
It's the basic one, Crisco, because magnesium is necessary for 80% of known metabolic functions. So it's like your main go-to before you even look at anything else. So what I found, and I wrote it in the book you mentioned, Magnesium, the Missing Link to Total Health, I found over 68 medical conditions that could truly be diagnosed as magnesium deficiency if doctors were paying attention. So that means all these diseases are being treated with drugs that actually make you more magnesium deficient. So we've got a big problem because all medical training ignores nutrients. So the medical training that researchers have, so they go into research, they don't think of vitamins and minerals. They think that's a dietitian's job. We can't be bothered with that. And then you'll get all these sidebars of, the blue light problem. Oh, you better use red light. You better do hot saunas and cold plunges. All these extreme things that people use to try to wake their body up from a mineral deficiency.
That's interesting because you do. I very good friend. I think you met him that night, Corey. We spoke to Corey, and he loves red light therapy.
Oh yeah. He's starting on my Remag. Don't worry.
He'll be good. Good. Let's move to number 2. This is going to be according to what I found on things that you can do during August, which is National Wellness Awareness Month. Adding more fruits and vegetables to your meals. Now, we're talking about magnesium. We're talking about different minerals and nutrients. Do all fruits have that? Or the way that fruits are now, the way they're grown, you're probably missing most of the things you need anyway. What do you know?
You got it. Yeah, you said it exactly. 100 years ago, we were getting 500 milligrams of magnesium in our daily food. Now we're lucky to get 200. Here in Maui, I have a 46-acre farm, and I wanted to know if being organic and biodynamic could make me not need my vitamins and minerals. And I found out pretty quick I can't live without supplementation. So it's been farmed out of the soil, even organic. We're under so much stress, we're burning off our minerals. Athletes are burning them off. In musicians, and all the people that you interact with, they're sweating, right? They're sweating out their minerals. So you're losing all these minerals, and then you get eye twitches and you can't sleep, and you have to take a sleeping pill, and then you have to get up to do something. And so you take an upper. So we get ourselves in this terrible cycle because we're not getting the right minerals, and we don't sleep if we don't have enough magnesium.
Yeah, and I think that might be another cause of, a lot of athletes are seeing more and more injuries. Like it's preseason, there's so many athletes that are already injured right now in football, and you see it in basketball as well. It seems like how can their bones get so brittle now? Like people getting injured, more Achilles ruptures and minerals.
Well, Achilles rupture, that can be from drugs. There are drugs that incorporate fluoride in order to make them better able to get through fatty cell membranes. The fluoride will break down in the gut, break off the drug, and then that fluoride binds with magnesium and makes this brittle substance that deposits in tendons and joints. And you get tendon rupture from these drugs as a side effect. But people don't know that it's about the fluoride. I put it together because I studied magnesium. Doctors don't study magnesium and minerals. So yeah, you've got all these athletes having problems. I remember years ago, LeBron James, he was sidelined with his horrible leg cramp, and what should we give him? Let's pour in the Gatorade. He was magnesium deficient. And we've just recently actually put an NSF sports designation on our products so that we can go into the athletic teams and put people on the right nutrients that they need. I mean, I think of Caitlin Clark. She's out with injuries every second week, and she needs her magnesium. Plus, she needs to be accepted by the league. But
Right, right. I was gonna say that. There's a lot of she get them extra elbows in here and there. That probably
yeah, yeah,
contributes
poke it
to
in
that
the
as well.
eye.
All the time. Well, look, we're moving to number one, and this is the number one thing that you can do to improve your overall health, according to the articles I found. Is basically increasing your water intake, and I think that kind of goes with everything. I know I don't know what's happening with my foot. I'm still dealing with something right now, but I think maybe it's more dehydration. I know gout, probably diabetes or arthritis. These types of things. Is water intake have to do with any of that?
Paramount. And what happens is we need water, we need clean water. We know our water is dirty. Any body of water that's ever been tested anywhere in the world, even in the Arctic, will be contaminated. They'll find drugs in the water, plus heavy metals and pesticides and all the rest of it. So we have to filter our water. There's filtration stations in every water municipality, and then usually people filter at their faucet. So we're getting water that is empty, devoid of chemicals and also of minerals. So this is where I say you have to start putting sea salt in the water. And the sea salt has to have some color to it. Because if it's a white sea salt, that means they've processed out the colorful minerals. And here's my water intake suggestion. Take your body weight in pounds, divide that in half. So if you're 100 pounds, half of that 50 ounces of water is what you should be drinking a day. If you're 200 pounds, 100 ounces, and in every liter of that drinking water, put a quarter teaspoon of sea salt. At first, people say, "Oh, it's too salty." Well, just start with a pinch and work up, and you'll find that afterward, the plain water is just too bland. Those minerals will start going into your cells and pull water in behind them and get your cells all perked up and working. Your dehydration means that your cells are so dehydrated, they're not making energy. Energy is made inside a cell, inside a little thing called a mitochondria, inside a little cycle called Krebs cycle. And what does the Krebs cycle need? Magnesium. If you don't have enough magnesium, you're not making energy. And here's what I mean, this is sidebar, but in the brain neurons, I think there are 86 billion brain neurons. That's just brain cells. There are 2 million mitochondria that are allowing the Krebs cycle to make the energy. 2 million. In the heart, where I thought was the most magnesium, in the heart, there are 5,000 mitochondria per cell. So we are losing our brains for lack of magnesium.
Wow, this is literally like eye-opening, mind-blowing for some people. I mean, I know, yes, exactly. I do want to talk about like our summer bodies. People always talk about, hey, summer bodies, they're made in the winter. Well, my thing is my fall body is made in the summer because football season, well, I gotta, be on the screens and all that. I gotta, that's just when I focus, right? But as far as dieting, we hear like, hey, SemiGlutide, we'll hear trizipatides and take this pill, take this shot, low T, shoot that in your body. What can we be doing besides depending on one of the weight loss drugs, or maybe there are good ways to implement them? What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I'm not fond of drugs, so I just read all the incredible side effects of drugs like Ozempic. The biggest one now is blindness.
Ooh.
So I'll focus on that, where some people say, well, you can lose some weight. But I don't trust a lot of studies, but we all cherry pick the studies we want to talk about. I just read a study today that said that people who just stop eating ultra processed foods will lose weight. So maybe in our society where 70% of our diet is processed and ultra processed foods, we just got to the point where it's causing calorie increase, no nutrients in those calories, and fat increase. People keep eating to try to get the nutrients, and then they just gain weight. So it's got to start with diet and water and walking and all the rest of it. But it's difficult because it's hard. Willpower, cravings. I mean, I love my desserts, but I try to make it. Listen to this, Crisco. I make an avocado, banana, coconut cream, cacao, chocolate pudding.
You're gonna have to
Those
send me that recipe.
That's it. That's
I need
it.
that recipe, like quickly, as soon as we're done here. I need that recipe. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I gotta
And then
try.
you put a few berries because they say berries are low sugar and high in antioxidants. So we're toxic, we're stressed, we need our nutrients. And rather than going out and getting these esoteric expensive supplements, I tell people stick with the basics. Food-based vitamin C is good, ascorbic acid is good. The next book I'm writing is about vitamin C. And I'm reading a book from 2011. They say high doses of vitamin C, you put like 100 grams in a person instead of half a gram. You intravenously, you can treat AIDS and Ebola and malaria and polio. And we've never gotten to the point where we will allow these nutrients to be put to work because they're not patented and they're not expensive.
Talking about nutrients and things that we can put in our body. I have about the kit, right? And am I showing it right? Yeah, here we go. We got this. I have this.
Yeah.
I have this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I have my D3K2 reset, right? So
Wow.
I might be missing another bottle because I was trying to grab it all and bring it up in here. But you're probably, don't be disappointed. I haven't even opened it up yet. Because I was like, I feel like I need to talk to you on how to actually
Oh,
start
sure.
implementing these in my body. And is there a difference? Because from a man and a woman, because Brenda, she wants to take some too, but we're like, well, is it the same servings or how should we properly put these in that we can get right on your website? How can we start implementing, especially the magnesium, into
Uh,
our daily routines?
Yeah, there's some label instructions, but I have a very robust customer service staff, live people who are all on the products. They've all been cured of something. Don't tell the FDA, and they can just help people. Just start them off with what dosing, what to expect. The Realign that you held up there. That's got methylated and food-based vitamin Bs and a couple of amino acids that help detoxify the body. They'll even detox alcohol
Hmm.
so that people don't get the horrible effects of alcohol. So although we actually I shouldn't be talking about that. We don't want to promote alcohol drinking, but there are nutrients you can take rather than getting all these layers of illness that send you to the doctor. And then doctors, if you don't listen to them, they'll just fire you.
So starting with this, if you do happen to, because in globalization we do like to party a little bit, but this might be something that you take before you go out, or is this something that you take after recovery, or just incorporate it every day?
Every day. Actually, the way I say it is these are things you should be getting in a good diet, but we're not getting them in our diet anymore. So we have to incorporate them every day.
The next time we talk, all of this will be implemented into my daily diet. And of course, with the Realign right here. I don't want this to sound like an infomercial, but just I've studied, I know people, and including myself, just incorporating magnesium 4 or 5 years ago into the body and other supplements or nutrients. I've seen the difference it can make. And if they would like to explore more within your website and your universe, where would you like them to go right now so they can get more education? Because we can't go too deep today, but I definitely want people to still take what
Yeah.
we've learned and apply that further.
Right. It's rnareset.com. And the beauty of what happened to me is I fell into researching a non-laxative magnesium, if you know what I mean. I
Yeah.
couldn't take magnesium. So a chemist that I hired, he created a stabilized ion of magnesium and the other minerals so that that ion is exactly what the cell needs and the mineral goes straight in and goes to work. You cannot absorb a mineral compound. So that's the problem where, you can say magnesium does all these things, but you have to take the right magnesium.
Yeah, and that's what I meant earlier when I said your magnesium, because there is a difference. Not all magnesiums are created equal, and that's why
You are sounding like an infomercial.
I know,
Thank
but it's
you.
so true. I'm
Thank
sorry, but that it is true. It doesn't do any good to take some of the supplements if your cells aren't opening to getting what they're actually supposed to be getting. So at the end of the day, Dr. Carolyn Dean, before we go, just I like to. We have all ideas, we got information, but that doesn't mean anything if we don't implement it, right? So we got to go from ideas and info to implementation. Let's talk about the number one thing that people can start doing right now for their bodies and their minds.
Right, right. Get that water and get your sea salt and start drinking water. I mean, it's as basic as can be. And people will say, oh my gosh, my head's clearer. Dehydration really sinks you in. You start shrinking. Half your body weight, that many ounces of water a day, and every liter, a quarter teaspoon of sea salt.
Cool. And Himalayan, because it's still pink. It's not the
Yeah,
all white. It's
pink
okay.
Himalayan. That'll do it. That'll do
Right.
it.
Well, look, I appreciate you once again. Thank you so much for the education, sharing your expertise, your knowledge with us. And you're welcome on the show anytime. I'm not going to wait till next August to have you on because wellness and mental and body wellness, it all plays a super tremendous part of our life. And we want to make sure that we're giving out the information as much as we can. So
Thank you. I'd love to come back. I think you're awesome. Thank you.